Um, my name's Anna Chapman, and my husband is DJ Chapman, and I have three boys, Ethan, Bryce, and Declan, 13, 11, and 4. So hopefully you've seen us around church. We really miss you all. And I just wanted to share with you some encouragement God has shown me recently in my quiet times as I've struggled with, and I know probably many of you have struggled with just feeling isolated and just struggling with some sadness about the stay-at-home orders and not being able to see my friends, not my kids not being able to see their friends, and just not having the normal rhythm of life that we normally have. And so I've been battling that, and I was seeking God 2 weekends ago about it, and just wanted his perspective. And he was so kind to show me this, so I wanted to read it to you. It's in 2 Corinthians 4. So it starts at verse 7. But we have this treasure in jars of clay to show that this all-surpassing power is from God and not from us. We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed. Perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not abandoned. Struck down, but not destroyed. So what I was encouraged about that was that I felt like God was confirming, my feelings, like being perplexed, feeling hard pressed on every side. That was the word I was looking. Hard pressed on every side. Sort of like, I understand what you're feeling, Anna. But what was encouraging was remembering that we're hard pressed, but not crushed. Perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted but not abandoned. So it's like, yes, this is very, very hard what people are going through. The isolation factor, I can't even imagine what people are going through who have loved ones who are sick or are sick themselves. And that isolation, not being able to visit loved ones who are sick. So that is just, that is very hard pressed. But to remember that we're not crushed, we're not destroyed, and that our hope is in God, not in our circumstances. And that was just such a kind, timely reminder, and it really lifted my spirits, and it helped me battle the enemy thought that this is not what I want, and it's not fair. That's what I was battling. I realized God helped me boil it down. I'm feeling it's not what I want, and kind of struggling with sadness and anger towards about that. And so this just lifted me out of that old way of thinking, that normal, no temptation has seized us except what's common to man. Normal way of thinking, it's not what I want. I'm struggling with this. To like, okay, it's, the early Christians struggled too. It's not what they wanted. They didn't want to be persecuted, but their hope was in Christ. And so that's where I landed. And have I still struggled since then? Yes, this last weekend I was really struggling again because our neighbors wanted to connect, and we had to figure out creative ways to still follow the stay-at-home orders but be able to relate to them. And that was just hard. I was missing just the freedom of being able to relate with people and not have to feel so restricted. But then God reminded me that we are pressed but not crushed. So if any of you remember that song from the 90s, if you were in the church in the 90s, there was a song, and it goes, we are pressed but not crushed, persecuted, not abandoned. Anyway, you can look it up. But it was really, that song pops into my head now when I'm feeling a little low, and God helps to remind me to get back on the faith track. So I hope that you are doing well today, and I hope that you are able to jump back on the faith track as well if you are struggling as I have done many times. Bye, ladies.